here. Now, we said that if you want to find, or if you want to factor a monomial from a polynomial, the first step, we have to find the greatest common factor. And we found yesterday, or we said yesterday, how can we find the greatest common factor? Let's have this example here. What is the greatest common factor of the terms of each polynomial? So if I want to find if I want to factor a monomial from a polynomial, the first step, we have to find the greatest common factor. How to find it? As we said yesterday, let's take the two terms. The first term, it is 12x, and the second term, it's 20. And then factorize each term. We said that if I want to factorize, I have to just write the prime numbers and so on. These are the prime numbers. Look at number 12 now. Who can tell me what are the numbers that, what are the prime numbers that if I multiply them, I get 12?
3 multiplied by 4.
2 multiplied by 2.
3 multiplied by 4. And 2 multiplied by 6.
2
2 multiplied by 3.
by 3 by 2. I need numbers from here, from the prime numbers, that if I multiply them, I get 12. 2 and 3 and 2. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes, teacher.
Yes.
Okay. Then, how many x here we have?
1.
1x. Keep it as it is. Look at number 20 now. Now, who can give me a numbers from the prime number that if I multiplied 2 or 3 of them, I get 20?
5 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2.
Thank you. It is 2 times 5 times 2. So after now I factorize them, I want to find the common one. Let's find the common one. Where's the common here?
2.
2.
2.
And the other.
Yes. 2. Internet connection.
Okay, Farah. So here we have 2 and 2. So we will say now that the GCF is 2 times 2, which is 4. Is it right? So the greatest common factor here is 4. Let's solve now number 16. In number 16, here we have 8w squared minus 18w. So I want now to find or to factorize each term. Look at the first one now.
We can say 2 multiply 2 multiply 2.
Thank you. Times w times w.
2 times 2.
Two w's, yes. Look at 18 now. It is 2 times 3 times 3. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes.
Times w. So now, let's find now the common. It is 2 and w. Is it right?
Yes.
So,
Yes.
the greatest common factor here is 2w.
Teacher,
Yes, Farah.
teacher, the 18 is negative.
Yes, but here we don't take it because later on After I saw how can we factor, we don't need the negative sign. Okay, to just take the terms as it is without the signs.
And teacher, the greatest common factor, like here is 2 and here is 2, so I will multiply them.
Here is 2. Which here you mean?
Yes, yani the common factor between the 8w to the power of 2 with 18w is 2.
Is 2.
So we'll multiply
2w.
2w.
Okay, 2 times w, which is 2w. Now, before I will go to the how to factorize monomial from polynomial. As I told you, the first step in factorizing to find the GCF. Now, all of you understand how can we find the GCF?
Yes, teacher.
Okay.
Teacher, number 15, why it's 4? And here 2 and x. So I'll multiply
2 and x. And the second one?
And I will multiply 2 with 2 equal 4 and
yes, I told you it's the greatest common factor.
And teacher, the greatest common factor is 2 or 15, number 15.
It is 2 times 2 times 3. Is it right? And the second one, it is 2 times 2 times 5.
Yes.
So what are the common? 2 and 2. So which is 4.
Okay.
Okay, now let's go to the next step. Now, as I told you yesterday, factoring a polynomial, it's reverse the multiplication process. I mean that yesterday we said that if I have to multiply 2 times 3x minus 1, what we have to do? We multiply 2 by the first term and then we multiply 2 by the second term. Is it right? If we have 2 and I want to multiply it by this term, by this bracket, by this term, we just multiply 2 by each term, by each monomial. Is it right?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes,
So now we said it is 6x minus 2. Then after that, if I have it now as the pink one, if I multiply them, I get 6x minus 2. And if I factorize the 6x minus 2, I will get the pink one. Now, yesterday we learned how can we convert the pink to green. How can we multiply to make them as a one term? Today, we will learn if we have them as a one term, how can we factorize a monomial from a polynomial? So yesterday we learned how can we convert the pink to green. Today, I will learn how can we make the green to be as pink. How can we factorize the monomial from a polynomial? That's why I told you that the factorizing is a reverse operation of a multiplication, of multiplying. So, to factor a polynomial, the first step, you have to find the greatest.
Question.
Sorry?
Which question is this?
No, it's not questions. It's a classification here, just explaining what we have to do later on. So, the steps are to factor the polynomial. first, you have to find the greatest common factor, as we did. And then write a polynomial as a product and factorize the GCF from all of the terms. Let's see how. So from here, just I want you to know that the factoring a polynomial is reverses the multiplication. Yesterday, I gave you the pink one as 2 multiplied by a term, and I asked you now to write it as a one term by multiplying the 2 by each monomial function or each monomial. Here now, I give you the green one. I give you now as a one expression, and I want you now to factorize a monomial from the polynomial. Is it clear? What's the difference between them?
Teacher again.
Okay. Yesterday, I told you that you have this box, which is a polynomial, and you have this circle, which is a monomial. And yesterday, I learned you how can we multiply this monomial with a polynomial. How can we put them in one shape? And how can you combine between these two shapes and make them one shape? That's mean yesterday I told you that if you have a 2x with 3x plus 1, this is a first shape, and this is the second shape. This is a square, and this is a rectangle. And I told you now to combine them with each other to make them one shape, to combine these two expressions to make them one expression. After you combining them, after you multiplying them, here, look at the first one. How many expressions you have? You have 2 expressions. After you multiplying them, how many expressions you have?
1.
1. So that's what we did. We have a circle and we have a rectangle, and I ask you multiply them. When you multiply them, you put the circle inside this rectangle and you make them one shape. This is the multiplying. The factoring, no. The factoring like this. I give you this shape as an example, and it's like this. It comes in equation like this as an example. Okay, it's like this. And I asked you to factorize them, to factor this shape outside. I told you now, put it outside. Okay, to put it outside, the first step, we have to find the GCF. Then we have other steps. We will talk about them later on. But did you know now what's the difference between multiplying and factoring?
Teacher, yesterday when we will multiply, we don't join them into one monomial. And we have binomial, the answer will be binomial.
Monomial by binomial. Sorry, monomial by polynomial. We get a polynomial. So multiplying, like combining, make a combination between them to make them as a one term. Here, it is 2 term. It is one shape, and I asked you now to write it as, or to make it as 2 shapes.
Miss, sorry, when you were explaining, I was outside. We mean, teacher, the monomial, you combine it with the other polynomial.
Yes, and this combination, we call them multiplying. Like move this shape here. We make them one shape, one polynomial. This is a multiplying. A factoring. فرح شي goes. لا فرح is here. The factoring now, the factoring that I asked you now to give me or to factorize an expression out of the shape. To factorize a monomial out of a polynomial. Now let's see how. Look at this exercise here. I will start with the easier one to go with the harder one. Look at the first one. The first one, as I told you, it is 9x minus 6. So the first step here, take the 9x here and the 6 here. Okay? Take each monomial and put them under each other. Then find the GCF. What is the, let's factorize 9. What are the prime numbers that I multiply them, I get 9?
3 multiplied by 3.
3 multiplied by 3. And how many x here we have?
1.
1x. Thank you. Now look at the number 6 here. Give me 2 prime numbers that if I multiply them, I get 6.
2 and 3.
2 and 3. Thank you. Then, after that, we will have to find the GCF. Now, to find the GCF, as I told you, we just put the common. Is it right?
Yes.
So the GCF
Yes,
here,
teacher.
so the GCF here is a 3. So now look at me. I will say the function is equal to, put 3 outside. Then, I told you I have to factorize a monomial from the polynomial. Now, look, I mean that, let's rewrite the function first here. Our function was 9x minus 6. The expression, it was 9x minus 6. So the first one now, put the GCF here outside. That's we found it. Then go to the first term here, the pink one. Okay. Now we took the 3, which we say that the greatest common factor is 3. I want you now to remove it. I don't want them because we already take one of them. We already took the common and we put them here as a 3. Then I will write now what we have at the rest. What is left? I mean, if we remove the 3, look at the first function here.
What is left?
3x
3x
and 2.
Write it here. I want only the 9x. In the 9x, if I remove the 3, what is left? 3 and x.
3x.
Keep it as a 3x. Then minus. Then why minus? Say I saw. Then I put minus sign. This one I will put it down. Then go down. After I remove a 3, what I have?
2.
2. So by this way, I factorize the 9x minus 6. I put them down as factorize the 3 from them and write what your expression is left. I will make another example. But from here, look here. Yesterday, I gave you this expression and I asked you to write them as one expression. Today, no. Today, I give you as a one expression and I want you to factorize them as we did here. Let's have another example.
Teacher, did
Yeah.
we solve dotted 3? I
Yeah,
mean the problem of
Yeah, but I will go back to it. But I start with the easier one.
okay.
Look at now the second one here. In number 22, we have t squared plus 8t. Okay? The first step, find the GCF. Let's put t squared here and 8t here. And then factorize them as we said. How many t here we have? 2 t's, is it right? And down, we have t and 8. Give me two numbers that if you are multiplied them, you get 8.
4 times 2. 4 times 2 times 8.
2 times 2 times 2.
No, teacher, it's 2 times 4.
Now, the 4 is not a prime. I told you, choose only the prime numbers, which is 2, 3, 5, 7, and 11, and 13, and so on. So choose, if I ask you to find or to factorize it, I asked you now to write it as a prime numbers. Give me two prime numbers that if you multiply them, you get 8, or 3 numbers. It's 2 times 2 times 2. And then how many t we have? We have 1 t. Is it right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Then the second step is to find the GCF. What is the common factor here?
T.
It is t, thank you.
T.
It is t, the greatest common factor. So I will pick, since they are the same, I will pick them. I will say here now, the greatest common factor is t. And this one, I don't want it because I take the common, which the common here is what? Is t. So after that now, I will say that t squared plus 8t is equal to, we found that the GCF is t. So what we have to do, take this 3 and put it here. Okay, the GCF that I found it, put it here. Then go back to the first, or can't say like this. If I took t from the first term, what is left?
2.
T.
T. Look at the first term, we have t squared. If I remove the t, what is left? T.
8.
T.
Then plus. Then look at the second one. When I remove the t, what is left?
8.
8. So I will say now, After I factorizing, I have t times t plus 8. Is it clear? Oh, it's more clearly than the previous one?
Yes.
Yes, miss.
Yes, it's easy and clear.
So, look at this one here. Factoring a polynomial. If I ask you now to find the factored the form of 4x raised to the power 5 minus 24x cubic plus 8x. The first step, you have to factor each term. So, how to factor each term? Let's do it here. 4x raised to the power 5, 24x cubic, and 8x. Let's factorize each term. Look at the first one. Give me two prime numbers that if you multiply them, you get 4.
2.
2 and 2, bravo. Then how many x we have here? 5 x's, is it right?
5. Yes.
So I will write them as x, 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 x. Then look at 24x cubic. Give me numbers that are prime numbers that if you multiply them, you get 24.
2 multiplied by 3 multiplied by 2 multiplied by 2.
Wait, 24, it is 8 multiplied by 3. So you can say it's 2 times 2 times 2, yes, times 3 times. How many x here we have?
3x.
3
We have
x's.
3 x's, yes.
3x.
And what about 8x? It is 2 times 2
Times 2 times 2.
Yes. So after I factorize each term, the second term, find the GCF. So we will say now that the GCF is, find the common as I told you, and this x. Is it right? Is this the common factor?
Yes, so the common factor would be 4x.
So it will be 4x. Thank you. The last step, factoring out of the polynomial. What we have to do? Put this 4x here outside. Then look at the first one. If we remove the common, or if you remove the GCF, what we have at the rest, at the left, what we have left? We have x
4x.
and x and x and x. Okay, if you remove the greatest common factor, what we have? X to the power 4. Then I will make it like x to the power 4. Then what is the sign here? It is minus. I keep
Minus.
it as minus. Then I have now 24x cubic. For this 24x cubic, if I take from them the GCF, what is left?
The 2 and the 3.
And x squared.
And the 2 x's.
Yes, so it will be 6x squared. Then I will go back here. What is the sign? It's a plus.
Add, plus.
We'll write it as a plus. Then I have 8x. If I remove 4x from here, what is left?
It will be 2.
The 2.
So this is how can we factor out of the polynomial. I take 4x from there and I have this function at this function will be left. Is it clear now?
Yes, miss.
Yeah. Let's have another example. By the way, this is a problem 3. Okay, this one is as the same as problem 3. Now let's do GAT 3. In GAT 3 here, what did we have? We have 9x to the power 6 plus 15x raised to the power 4 plus 12x squared. As I told you, the first step, factorize each term. The second step, find the GCF. The third step, factor out the GCF from the function or from the expression.
Teacher,
Yes?
I didn't understand how to factorize the x. Yani how you brought the x to the power of 4.
In the previous one? Here? Here, Farah?
Still no.
Yes, Farah. Did you mean here? She left Farah, I think.
A teacher.
Yes, Dana.
Like in the first step, why we like in the find the GCF, why we write 4? Because it's from the beginning or what?
This one, from where you bring 4x, you mean this GCF?
Yeah, why we should start with like 4? Why it can be?
No.
Why it can be 24 or 8?
Here. Did you see how can we find the GCF?
Yeah.
This GCF, is it 2 times 2 times x?
Yes.
This 2 times 2, which is 4x. I didn't take this 4.
Teacher, sorry. Internet connection.
I didn't take this 4.
You take the.
Do you mean that and why we take this 4?
Yes.
No, I didn't take this 4. I factorized the terms, then I found the common between them. They are 2 and 2 and x. If you multiply 2 and 2 and x, you get 4x.
Okay, miss. Thank you.
Other example.
The x, the rest. And teacher, you count how many x's are common between all the numbers.
How many lists? For the common or for the, you mean for the common? You mean for the greatest common? Farah. Let's have
Miss?
Yes.
I have a question.
Yes, Huda.
When I send a message in the WhatsApp, all the girls are saying that I'm asking how much the girls bring.
Huda.
But I'm not saying like that. I want to know also the girls who bring 6 that can make the bonus exam.
طب wait.